And we are live. Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to Forever Sports. Are you ready? It is Six Nations time. What a tournament it really is. And I cannot believe we're already at another edition. It just seems like last year where we were covering it. So, very, very excited to get stuck back into it. I absolutely love the Six Nations. Despite being a South African, I think I have to admit this is the premier yearly international competition. I mean, I love the Rugby Championship, but the Six Nations is just a different beast from the theatrics, from the format, a very simple format, the little mini cups, the whole thing. There's nothing just quite like a Six Nations tournament, to be perfectly honest. And a very interesting game to kick us off because we are expecting to see a very dominant performance here from France, but maybe Wales got something else to say. Maybe Wales will be able to pitch up and be able to do something and be able to give us a bit of a spectacle, or at least something. Just give us something to work with. So let me know in the comments below what your predictions are for the game and what you think might happen. We're going to go look at the sides in just a second as well. And that'll hopefully give you a bit of an idea of why this French side is being so highly backed to get a result this evening, because it is absolutely stacked. It is stacked, like badly stacked in many ways. And yeah, I think that we're in for an absolute cracker of a game. So welcome to the stream. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to it and or to the channel and smash a like on the stream as well. And welcome. Let's get settled in, shall we? We've got a poll running in the comments over here asking who do you think will win the clash? France at the moment with 75%. And in case you're wondering why, this is why. So we're going to have a look. That's not why. We're going to have a look at the teams over here. And I mean, look at this front row here from France. In the front row there, we've got Jean-Baptiste Gros, Piotr Milvarka, and Unai Antonio. You've then got Alexandre Rumat, no Thibaut Florent, which is quite sad. Such a fun rugby player. But you've got Emmanuel Meerfu and Rumat in the second row. And in the back row, despite a couple of injuries there, you've still got the likes of Francois Kroos, Gregory Aldred, no Charles Olivant, who is out. And then you've got Paul Bourdonnais in his place. Antoine Dupont, a partner remain Intermac, a return for Antoine Dupont in the Six Nations. Missed it last year as he was preparing for that the Olympic Sevens. Louis Biabari is the one to watch, the number 11 jersey. Expect to see lots of tries coming from him. You've then got Tio Adesogbi on the other side, Thomas Ramos at full back, and then centers Yoram Muafana and Pierre-Louis Barassi. Off the bench, then you got Julian Marchand, Cyril Bay, George Henry Cologne, Hugo Aradeur, Michael Gillard, Oscar J. Good, Nolan Legaric, phenomenal player, Legaric. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, had that absolute masterclass against Stormers. And then Emilion Gatland. So it's a good bench. And then if you look at the Welsh side, not a bad Welsh side, but you're just kind of wondering how do they try and compete. In the front row, Gareth Thomas, Evan Lloyd, and Henry Thomas. Gareth Thomas actually recently signing a new contract with the Ospreys. Will Rowlands, Daff Jenkins. I think that's the engine room there in 4 and 5. I think are very good. I think Daff Jenkins is a nice young player. Maybe not quite at the part of his career where I think he's going to be dominant, but as we look at him now, but he's definitely one for the future. Then James Botham's a nice player. I like him. Jack Morgan is back and to captain the side, back from injury. And he's world class on his day. Aaron Wainwright will never let you down, really. Always a consistent performer. Thomas Williams will partner Ben Thomas. Big selection course he made at fly half for Warren Gatland throughout the Six Nations. Owen Watkin, the Tonkins in the centres. I think really missing out on Mason Grady there. And the back three of Josh Adams, Tom Rods, and Liam Williams. Good to see Liam Williams back in the side. A quality player. Off the bench, Elliot D, Nicky Smith, Kieran Azarati. I think I look at that as a major flaw in this Welsh side. I don't think there's enough power up front. And I think they're going to struggle. They've got Freddie Thomas, Tommy Raffel, Roger Williams, Dan Edwards, and Blair Murray. So there's some decent players in this Welsh side, but the bench is just nowhere near strong enough. And just generally not enough quality, I personally think, to be able to stand much of a chance. But, you can't rule them out. You can get a yellow... I mean, France can get a yellow card, for example, and all of a sudden things could sort of turn on their head. So... It is very much a bit of a lottery. So let's wait and see exactly what takes place. But yeah, we got kick off at the moment, just moments away. We've currently got the national anthems going. So please do vote. Please do smash like on the video and get your score predictions in. What are we saying here? Kieran Woodward earlier saying, answering most, saying, are Wales even going to show up? And he reckons, of course they will. Mikhail Lomo says, in this match, I'm backing Le Bleu to win, but I'm really hoping for Wales to compete this match and get some wins this year because last season was shocking, very much so. Sean Farrell says, my gut says France by 50 plus. Yeah, I had a mate who was asking for a couple of potential bets, and I said that plus 25, plus 35 points, I think is a pretty safe one. If you ask me, I think we're going to see. I think that Welsh defense is just not particularly good. Maybe they've really showed it up. And so I think, the combination of a good French attack, a bad Welsh defense, and overall, I don't think it's going to make for a particularly good combination. But we'll have to wait and see. So we got kickoff just moments away. And we're having a look at the teams there. So, I mean, your players to watch. Obviously, Antoine Dupont, the main Intermac, and Thomas Ramos. Those three as a bit of an axis. Even throw in Ewan Mufano, who I'm a big fan of. It's really, really good. It's world-class talent scattered amongst that backline. And then when you've got someone like Louis, even not having Damien Penaud or Galthié and the likes, there's a lot of quality there. And I do think that French pack, which is very big, is going to be far too much for this Welsh pack. The only way I think France, the Welsh pack really compete is you kind of got to do what the Springboks did. You got to try and get this French pack moving. You got to try and starve them of opposition and try and work them down, grind them down throughout the game. I think that's the only chance they really have. I'm very keen to see how Ben Thomas goes. I think that fly half has been such an issue for Wales, and I don't think Warren Gatland's really settled. Sam Costello was got to run, then Ben Thomas got to run, and I think until he really kind of settles on a sort of set fly half and kind of backs them, and then they're going to continue to struggle. It's such an important position, and they just haven't really been able to sort of get anybody nailed on as a starter in that fly position. But yeah, let's see. I mean, I like Ben Thomas. I think he's a nice young player. I don't think he's quite when you're being world class, for example. Can he get there? Maybe. Again, he's a young player. He's got lots of potential. But I think that's the problem with Wales. Far too much potential, not enough finished products. But 26 years old, he should be coming into his own these days. Right, Wales will be playing left to right, by the way. France will be receiving kickoff at Stade de France, which looks absolutely epic, as it always does. Very few stadiums match the kind of theatrics and occasion. And Ben Thomas does get us underway. He goes down pretty central down on the right. Almost a bit of a miscommunication there. And I think that's Paul Boudinot who will take it. Sorry, that's actually Mierfu who takes it into contact. Dupont gets his first touch of the ball as he hacks it downfield. And it'll be an early opportunity here. This is where I want to see Ben Thomas come into his own. Back yourself a little bit. And he has. So available there for Thomas Williams. Gareth Thomas, one of the more experienced front rows in the side in the Welsh 23. And the first carry there coming from Owen Watkin as well is pretty solid. Very important for Wales to start well, and find a bit of early momentum. And they do have a bit of Jack Morgan carrying strongly into the half. And he has the second go to Jack Morgan up to 10-metre line down the right-hand side. Ben Thomas with plenty of options goes short. So nice start here from Wales. A bit of confidence as well. Ben Thomas looking for options, a couple of overlaps, right, and tackle behind the line there was Josh Adams in the end, but still with ball in hand here as they go into their 7th phase. Will Rowland's taking the more direct route. He was very good a few years ago in that tour where I think he really announced himself to the world when he was up against South Africa. Not too much remains. Thomas Williams is going to go to the boot. Daft Jacobs will give chase, as will Tom Rogers. And it comes back to Wales, to be fair. Thomas Ramos doesn't manage to secure it. And I think it's a knock-on advantage here coming from, looks like it's Luke Pearce, our referee today. Meant to check it, but in fact, I don't think it is. I can only see the back of his head, which doesn't really help. But down the left-hand side, keeping ball in hand. Now ball, it's actually been kicked straight into the hands of one of the French players, and Ewan Mufano has come away from it. Now Thomas Ramos sees a bit of space on that right-hand side. Search for that 50-22, bounce with the ball, and that's so good from Thomas Ramos. And that's the frustrating thing, isn't it? Wales all possession, really good start, very positive, and then Thomas Ramos with a turn of the ball puts it in behind and finds a 2-22. Not the best kick coming from, I think, because there's not a potential knock-on there coming from the kick through from Owen Watkin. I have to go have another check there, potentially. I think it almost looked like there was. Referee is Paul Williams. That's the one I'm looking for. And the sack is good there from Wales. And I'm not sure that ball's coming out. Eventually it does come out. Mavaka's trying to get it out. What a couple of seasons he's had. I mean, when Julian Marchand got injured around the World Cup, everybody sort of got, oh, the big player. And then Mavaka basically just turned himself into the best hooker in the world at the time. Now Tony goes over the top, and it's going to be a penalty for He's taking it from Antoine Dupont. Antoine Dupont sniping! Just short. Has he been held up? I think he has. Referee's looking for a potential grounding here. We'll go upstairs and have a look, I reckon. I don't think he's gotten this down. Always a threat, there's Antoine Dupont, and he's taken it quickly. I think they managed to hold it up. I'll be very surprised if they don't get penalised for not being within 5. Antoine Dupont already making his that threat. No, you don't want to switch off for a second, as Aaron Wainwright will get a bit of attention from the medics. But Bake's saying, can Wales match the kicking game of France? That's the important question. Well, we've already seen how good Thomas Ramos is with that sort of kicking behind and that 22. Having a look over here, I don't think there's grounding. I don't think this will be awarded as a try. So it is going to be a goal line dropout, and Wainwright's going to have to go off. He's got to cut it just below his nose. So on comes Tommy Raffel. So early change for Wales. And Ben Thomas will get us back underway. Into the hands of Thomas Ramos. Much better hands than earlier. Pops it up to Gregory Aldred for his first of what will be many carries today. Will Rowland's making the tackle. Antoine Dupont looking for options. Goes to the... In fact, it decides to turn. Brings the Thomas Ramos. Nice tackle to try and snuff out any danger there coming from Nick Tompkins. Now, Baptiste Gross. Show and go coming from Alexandre Rumat. Dupont popping up to Aldred. How many times am I going to have to say that tonight? Now back towards the right-hand side. And Spacia, and the ball just gets to his lot. It's a huge tackle coming from Josh Adams. Very deceptively physical is Josh Adams. It's a thumping tackle that on Pierre-Louis Barassi. But they're taking it quickly here from France, but the referee says no. Bring it back. Very nice tackle that coming from Josh Adams. Just lodging the ball in the tackle from Barassi, who and then finds it into touch. And he's just... Oh, it's a great tackle. He commits there to Josh Adams. And the ball is completely dislodged in contact. Very nice work from the Welsh wing. And you'll take a lot of confidence out of that as well. Sean Farrell says, men versus boys this. Yeah, so far Wales are holding their own for a little bit. Mavaka came from the rolling more. Can't get his hands away. And not sure if that'll be considered open. Now this... Oh, no, they're right down the right-hand side. Gregory Aldred managed to get that ball out. Good work from the number 8. And they go short to Miafu. Now Intermac. So good to see him back in the French jersey after that very long injury layoff. Dupont down the right hand side. Here's Antonio. Good tackle coming from Gareth Thomas. Not many options yet for Dupont. Eventually gets it away to Muafana. Now there's a bit of an overlap. Bit of space out wide. Josh Adams slips the tackle though. Back inside. Can't quite get the offload though. France just inside the 22. It was good work there coming from Adesogbi. Now Aldred from a standing start. Good Welsh defence. Rumat. This is from Antonio. Tommy Raffel over that ball though. And winning the penalty. I mean, he's called Tommy Turner for a reason, and he's done brilliantly there. Straight over the ball. And wins a very, very good penalty for Wales. It relieves a lot of pressure there. Yeah, I mean, so I mean, there's nobody really trying to clean him out. So had a bit of a free go at the ball there to Tommy Rafael. But it's a good penalty win. And 6 minutes in, first set piece now for Wales. Good one here from Daf Jenkins. And short to the man who won the penalty in the first place. Options here for Williams. And it's been left behind by and forward from Owen Walker. We have our first scrum of the day, and this is where I think that France are really going to have the upper edge. I just don't see how this Welsh pack is going to even begin to compete with France in the front row. It's just too powerful, I think, personally. But I mean, maybe I might be wrong. We'll have to wait and see now. But I just don't see really how they compete, how they manage to compete. You usually see the pack weights. I expect France to be a lot heavier. Any pack that has Antonio on it is going to be heavier. We haven't seen the pack race just yet, but I'm sure that'll come. And we're going to have a researcher coming from Paul Williams. Not happy with the miners. Actually going to have another look over the side to Antoine Baptiste Gross as well as Henry Thomas, saying that's where the issue's coming. Remember that we've got 60 seconds to get this going, otherwise that will be a free kick. And once again, gone back here, so we're going to have another reset. Time will obviously be off. Absolutely packed to the rafters is the Stade de France, and why not? I mean, why not? We expect it, really. Phenomenal place to watch rugby. I was lucky enough to watch Ireland versus New Zealand over there, and it's absolutely incredible. Okay, let's see if we can get a scrum going here. Jean-Baptiste Gross, for me, is looking like he's hinging inside, to be honest. And they do get the penalty there. That's exactly what I thought. And there was a nice angle over the top there to look at it. So, big penalty that coming from Wales. Jean-Baptiste Gross, the one who is... Or they're looking at Tony, but I think on the other side, Jean-Baptiste Gross definitely seemed like he was going straight in. So, I think it's a really, really good win there from Wales. I think it was actually a free kick rather than a straight arm because they've lifted it high in the air. It's been left behind, but one back, then lost forward by Tommy Rafael. No two knock-ons, just the knock-on they're coming from as Thomas Ramos comes away with the ball. Thomas Ramos brought down, looking for options, but nobody there ready to support him. Antoine Dupont goes to the right side to Jean-Baptiste Gross. And a return of a ball over here. Jack Morgan comes away with it. The charismatic captain. Now, nice carry. They're coming from Daf Jenkins. Thomas Williams looking to try and up the ante. Ben Thomas with options. Starts to go the Chris Cox kick in behind. Thomas Ramos, I'll tell you what, has been knocked backwards. And kicked ahead, or trying to kick ahead by Liam Williams. He'll ask about the knock-on. It is a knock-on to Wales. It's a nice option there from Ben Thomas, putting the cross kick. And Thomas Ramos very much in between whether he should sort of go for the tackle, try and go for the take, and ends up knocking it forward. There is a French player down as well. I think that might be Jean-Baptiste Gross. But it's a very nice cross kick in from Ben Thomas. And I tell you what, Tom Rogers was all over that to try and give Thomas Ramos a tough time. At the moment, the live win probability is sitting at 94% for France to win. Possession so far, 61% with the home side, 39% with Wales. Meters carried, though, not too dissimilar. Meters gained, also not too similar. So, not a bad start here. I've actually been pretty impressed with what I've seen here so far from Wales. They have a very nice set piece on the right-hand side. And Cyril Baille is going to have to come on here. So an early substitution. I think this is Jean-Baptiste Gross's game over. And that's a big, big blow for France because you don't want to be seeing somebody like a Cyril Baille having to go 70 minutes now. the spectacles of Fabien Galthié watching on. Warren Gatland looking a little bit chilly, but pretty calm. It's such a gorgeous day. As I say, I can't speak highly of it enough. It was such a bucket list item for me to go and watch games there. And I'll tell you what, I fully recommend. I mean, I'd love to go watch Six Nations game there. I mean, give me all the money in the world to be able to go there and watch the Box play against France in that grudge match at the end of the year. That's going to be absolutely epic. Come on, let's see what Wales can conjure up here. Adam Jones in the Welsh camp, by the way, joined the coaching staff. Very nice to see somebody of his caliber helping out there at Wales. It's a pretty good scrum as well. I mean, scrum, and a very nice line being run by Tom Rogers. 10 minutes out, show Wales pick up and go from Thomas Williams, pops it up to Jack Morgan. Wales on the front foot here. How their local supporters as well. There's a bit of space here. Ben Thomas surely Liam Williams starts to come back on the angle. There's almost a bit of an overlap. Not sure it's the right decision from him in the end. Wales still scrambling to try and keep the ball. They do keep it. Now they do go left to the left-hand side. Will Rowlands bashed it up. Good support this. Now Gregory Alger over the ball there. Slowing the ball down. Pleads his innocence to Paul Williams, who's happy to accept his apology, basically. Now Daft Jenkins making a yard or two. Not too much space on the left-hand side. Back down the right they come. Good. Nice carry there from him. Evan Lloyd. A penalty coming against Wales. And I feel that Liam Williams had an opportunity to go wide and give Josh Adams a go. Probably should have done it as well. And very good holding on as the call. Penalty there coming from France. That I think Wales score there and everything starts to. I think that would have changed things if they had scored there in terms of the confidence that would have given them. Not saying they would have gone to win, but you score first after the sort of the positive first 10 minutes they've had. Such a nice line being run by Tom Rogers. And then Gregory Alger over that ball so quickly. And ball up to the halfway line from Main Intermac. Uncontested there for Alexander Rumat. Flat ball for Gregory Aldrich. Good tackle from Tommy Raphael. Ball available for Dupont on the left-hand side to Mearfu. Good ball retention. Back on the right. No, Dupont actually wants to chip over the top. That's a really poor kick. I think he's a bit frustrated. I thought that you see, looking at the wing saying, why aren't you going after that? Because he thought he saw a bit of space for the wing to kick in. I suppose this is the problem when you haven't played enough with Antoine Dupont. You don't really expect things like that it'll sort of chip into a bit of space. The space was definitely on. There's no doubt about it. But there's just the wing wasn't there. Reads the game so differently to any other player as Antoine Dupont. That's a nice line being run there from Jack Morgan. He's already been very involved so far. Ball over the top there from Wales. Josh Adams bounces up the top. Back into the hands of Tom Rogers though. Rogers with a bit of space. And if they can get that ball out wide, there's a bit of an overlap. He's eventually brought down. I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing here from this Welsh side. Liam Williams, not too many options. And Owen Watkin, no choice but ready to just bash it up himself. Now James Botham, we haven't seen too much of him with ball in hand. Grandson of the legendary Ian Botham, English cricketer. Ooh, skip the pass. Ah, what is that? That is horrible. Oh, the ball back inside. Oh, no, this could be a disaster if it's a try. It's not for, thankfully, from France, who obviously, after turning the ball over, kicked him behind. But, I mean, that must be one of the most awful pieces of hand. I think it was Nick Tompkins in the end. And the overlap was there. All he had to do was take it and swing it left. And there was a massive overlap. I mean, what happens here? He's so ready to make the pass that he actually hasn't even caught the ball. And if he catches that, gives it to Josh Adams, and then the kick in behind, and it's a foot race between Liam Williams and Boudinot, who goes down early, gets in front of Liam Williams actually, but knocks the ball forward in the process. Boudinot saying, France coach, in my opinion, is not a test match coach. He is too predictable. It seems like he only has one game plan, kick forward and get lucky. It's a bit harsh. I mean, he's won the Six Nations. Yeah, he has won the Six Nations. I do think that the French game plan kind of was found out a little bit at a point, and so I think they've had to adapt, and it'll be interesting to see what they do. Look, I think at the end of the day, I think if they have a bad Six Nations now, they probably have a big decision to make in terms of do they look to replace him for the next World Cup. I do think that the French game plan does rely heavily on the likes of an Antoine Dupont and the brilliance he brings in. But obviously, it's the big forwards, so it's the absolute power game. And then just happy to kick to the opposition, find field advantage, find the set pieces, and let their pack do the business. Liam Williams there putting Ben Thomas under a lot of pressure, who is it's still under a certain amount of pressure. And Wales have scrambled really well to get that ball back. Very unlucky for France not to have won a penalty at the breakdown. And Thomas Williams now needs to find a good kick from the base. He will find touch. Thomas Ramos, a couple of options there to go quickly. Biabari wanted it, but Ramos says no. It's just outside of 22. Good position here for France to attack from. Still no Aaron Wainwright for the looks of it, so obviously taking a bit longer to get that blood bin sorted. Baptiste Gross, by the way, still continued off, so it didn't really end up coming off so by. Not the best line to throw there, but Rumat makes it work, and Aldred now breaks off the back. And pops up. Good work there to Alexander to Rumat. Into the 22 from France. Antoine Dupont surveying his option to the right-hand side. Mirfu. Absolute giant of a human. Dupont now, half a gap. Delays the pass and gives it away to Barrett. And over the ball, there's Tommy Rafael, but no penalty coming from Paul Williams. Now Pierre Martin Varka at scrum half. Shows and goes himself. Dupont popping up to Rumat. He's had a very industrious half so far, has the lock. Now here comes Antonio. Going nice and low on the Welsh defenders, but losing momentum a bit here. And straight in goes Barassi. Jack Morgan trying to get over that ball. Gross goes himself. He's almost over. Has he got grounding? I think he might do. We haven't had a look over here. The ball's come back here from France, and Wales pile into that. And now the ball goes back to Ramos under a lot of pressure. Biabari up against the touchline. Comes inside. Good tackle coming from Jack Morgan. France still with the ball, but they've lost a few meters. Back about 7.5 meters from the try line. All the way down to the right-hand side to work with. Dupont looking for his options. Taking a while. Aldred will start again. France 7 meters out, going into their 12th phase. Penalty advantage now comes from Paul Williams. Big opportunity that's from the home side. Gross now. Dupont. Looking at options. Gross wants to go for that kicking behind, and Josh Adams got work to do. There it is. There it is. Too easy. Theo Atasogi goes over, and Antoine Dupont. I mean, you know it's coming. Little ball at that, little space around there. Ball over the top, brilliantly weighted. France go over. Absolute disaster for Wales, who have been so good in the opening 50 minutes to stay in it. But it took a bit of Dupont brilliance to get the scoreboard going, and that really is superb from the scrum off. I mean, it was a great hold up there from Gross, but as soon as he had the run on Josh Adams, and it's inch perfect for Antoine Dupont. That ball is literally bouncing on the 5 meter line, right up against the touch line. Probably about 4 meters in. As a wing, you can't ask much more than that. That is the perfect cross kick. So good. And then one of the best goal kickers in world rugby, Thomas Ramar, will have his first opportunity of the game. Doesn't take too long there. Looking pretty good as well. And he will indeed add the extras. Such a good goal kicker is Thomas Ramar. Different level. Well, France, you kind of felt it was a case of when, not if. And it's taken them 17 minutes to open their account. And Wales, well, that will just knock the wind out of their sails a little bit because they were so good in the opening 15 minutes, desperately holding on. And the main thing for them now is to focus on the positives. They've been good. So keep playing the way they were. They don't actually have to change much as Thomas Ramar from the kickoff looks to find touch. Does find touch. as we're near the 20-minute mark. Well, to be fair, I think a lot of people would have expected France to have been further up at the 20-minute mark. Not many options there as Terry Thomas goes onto the ground. So not too many options here for Thomas Williams, who I think will just go to the boot here. Now he's looking to go back to Ben Thomas in the pocket. He does go back to Ben Thomas. Ben Thomas wants to go to the right-hand side. Not his best kick. Tom Ross is going to have to do well to try and retain that. And he locks it back into the hands of Romain Intermac, though, who then loses it back. Because they're back into the hands of Tom Rogers. Turnover ball here for Wales up towards the halfway line. The left-hand side now goes Thomas Williams. Ben Thomas, not too many options. Nice handling there, though. Now back to the right-hand side. Go himself. There's Evan Lloyd. Big counter coming from France, but Wales do well to keep possession. Now Rowlands pops up to Thomas. Goes flat. And forward. Very flat, but forward. Patrick says, hello from Ireland. Patrick O'Brien here. How are you doing, lads? Yeah, all good. Bit hot down here. It's cooking in SA. It's a balmy 24 degrees at 10:30 at night. So we're sweating out here, but we're moving. Some decent rugby on display. That's the main thing. If I'm going to wake up, I'm going to wait up rather this late, then I need some decent rugby. And right now we've been treated to some very, very good rugby. Thoroughly enjoying what I'm seeing in front of us so far. Wales have been pretty good. France have had to really work for that first try. That's the main thing. As Wales, what are you looking for in this game? And I think the main thing is to really look, to really make them work for their tries. To not just give it to them, roll over and play it dead. To really work to try and score your points. And after 3 minutes, just having 7 points, they've had to work for it. Scrum so far have been quite interesting. I expected to have Wales to have had much more issues at scrums, which they haven't. But as they do it on the right-hand side, Thomas Rams, we wrap around Jeff from Dupont. Bringing in Aston Holby, looking for a second one. Look at the pace here coming in. Josh Adams eventually makes the tackle. He left the ball behind. Thomas Ramos pops that back up to Dupont, back up to Ramos. Those two are just playing it all by themselves at the moment. Big kick there coming on. Thomas Ramos, ball available for Dupont. Quick ball going to Miafu. Goes the direct route, as a man of his size often does. On the shoulder there goes Alexander Rumat. Dupont caught on the ball. And you have to reset your France Gregory Eldred. Pick up, he actually pops it to Baptiste Gross. Being pulled along by his prop partner, sorry, actually it's Miafu. Now Boudinot. Liam Williams trying to effect the turnover. Mavaka now popping up to Miafu. Dupont arrives now to fulfill his duties in Aldred. Now he has Antonio. A quick ball around to Intermac. Oh my goodness, the wrap around here. And the ball into the hands of Beer Bori. Well, I said he's sure try score. He's in my fantasy team as well. And it was always going to be a big threat in the number 11 jersey tonight. And brilliant work there from France. A bit of fractured from Wales. And they exploited so well. And this is now the way for Wales when they start to score tries like this. It's too easy. It's far too easy. It's very good, but it's in broken play here. The offload there from Antonio. Ramos hits the gap, ball over the top. I actually think he offloaded that too early. I think if Josh Adams had not gone up quite... In fact, I think he's a bit more aware. I think he actually could have got hands to it. But interesting that he did put in the offload to Biabari and nobody in front of the French wing. And that'll help my fantasy team a lot. Yeah, nothing complicated about that. I think in many ways France, I think will probably just sort of start to simplify things a little bit and look to try and just go, exploit Wales. And they're a better team than Wales, so you've got to be patient here. At the end of the day, you got to first of all you can't panic. You got to just absorb the any sort of pressure that Wales will put on you, and just know that the longer the game goes on, the more chances you'll create. And whilst this is a much more experienced Wales team than maybe we saw last year, like Australia, for example, there's still quite a lot of players lacking experience, and there is the possibility for them to crumble. So they're going down to the right-hand side of the kickoff. It's a bit of a variation there. Gregory Eldred underneath it. Thomas Ramo making no mistake with the second conversion. So sitting at 14 points to 0. Right, ball over the top. Not looking for touch, though. Into the hands of Liam Williams. We haven't seen much of him. Ben Thomas now. Not too many options either. Goes himself. Gets through one. Gets through a couple. Eventually brought down by Baptiste Gross. Nice carry there from the fly half. Williams, his quick ball here. Both of them. Tonkin now to Watkin. And does very well as Roger to hold on. I've actually been impressed with Rogers today. He's been working very hard on that, and actually looking for work as well. Which has been what's good to see. Especially when you're going to be starved for a bit of possession. You've got to look for work as a good sign from a wing. Will Rowlands, slightly isolated as well. There does Henry Thomas to add support. Liam Williams now a bit of space in the left-hand side. Rafael goes himself. I don't think we actually see Aaron Wainwright. The left-hand side. Josh Adams comes back inside. Need to see him with a bit of space. Williams goes to Henry Thomas. Henry Thomas pops up to Ben Thomas. Goes short. Nice line being run there, but can't quite get through. They can own Watkin. Liam Williams, once again, in fact, he wants to go himself. Brudenez all over him. Like a rash on that scrum off. So lost a few meters there. Daft Jenkins now. Popping it up to Tommy Raffel. Paul Williams very direct with the French offside line. Ball over the top from Ben Thomas. That's just an absolute waste. Nothing on, and he just taps. He puts it over the top and to remain into Mac's hands. He just taps and goes back to Antoine Dupont. With a little bit of pressure was Dupont and kind of just hacks it downfield. Liam Williams is now going to try and build from deep. What is he going to try and do? Gives it inside to Ben Thomas, who's dropped in. And slightly isolated there was Owen Watkin. I think the Welsh centre at the moment struggling a little bit. And stop the ball and play. I think there's a head injury from Henry Thomas. No, it's not Henry Thomas. Actually, I think it's actually Evan Lloyd is in a lot of pain. So the referee stops it. So we'll resume with a scrum, I'd imagine. But the saying Wales defence giving up. How many games do you think Wales will go without a win? Well, I think Italy obviously their biggest opportunity. I think they might beat Italy if they can start streak. I mean, what we've seen today is definitely an improvement. So looking at it, I think it's Owen Watkin who's down. Oh, I think his knee goes. Yeah, his knee goes. He's in so much pain. Well, that's a definite substitution. We're going to see Blaine Murray, and you can see why the referee stopped it. As you were stepping inside was Owen Watkin. The knee's just gone. Looks a bit like a blowout as well. So that's not a good sign for Warren Gatland. He's already lost Aaron Wainwright, and now he's going to lose Owen Watkins. So 2 first-round substitutes for Warren Gatland was not something that he would have wanted to have seen. Wouldn't have planned for it either. Just saying, how's it going? Well, myself, all good. All good. I said a bit warm, but the game itself has actually been quite entertaining. I've been quite impressed with what I've seen from Wales in certain times. I think the second try was a bit soft. First try was a bit of Dupont magic. It's a great little kick over the top. But big opportunity here for Blaine Murray. Then, in fact, Dan Edwards is going to come on. So Dan Edwards is going to come on, the 21-year-old. And this is what I like. I mean, I think Warren Gatland's very much realised that if they're going to compete in the next World Cup as Owen Watkin limps off, he needs to try and different things. So here comes Dan Edwards, which I believe is actually on debut, I think. The Ospreys centre. Yeah, that doesn't look good. You could just see it was his knee as he went down. Not a good look. So that'll be a man down there for Warren Gatland. Lost for him to now consider. Chat Sports saying Wales need to move the ball faster, get them up the pitch. Yeah, I think they've actually had a couple of times where they actually had overlaps and they just didn't really use them. So I think Gatland will be frustrated because I think they've created space, but then not used the space. They need to get a little bit better at using it. So 2 first-half substitutions for Wales. Nothing here from France just yet. We'll resume with a scrum, which I think Wales, to be in their credit, haven't been out-scrummed yet. They've actually been pretty solid. I've been impressed with what I've seen from them at scrum time. Right, ball available, and it goes straight to the back. So James Botham is actually interestingly packing down at 8th man at the moment, obviously with that substitution to Wainwright. Now, long ball out to Tom Rogers, a bit of space outside. And do well to bring him down, but he does well to stay inside as well, to be fair. Dan Edwards at first receiver. So I think you're going to see a bit of a positional changing at the moment. So Dan Edwards will probably go to fly half. And ball over the top is charged down. And it's up in the air. It comes back to Ben Thomas, who does really well. Does the number 10. Liam Williams, with not as much space, kicks him behind. And having to go all the way back is the try scorer. One of the try scorers. Both wings have scored. And Atasogby finds a clearance, but it doesn't find touch. It's a brilliant clearance itself. And Josh Adams says it's outside the 22, and they're happy not to take it quickly. It's a brilliant kick, though. Absolutely terrific from him. I mean, they were inside their own half, and they're putting themselves all the way back to just outside the Welsh 22. It is a Welsh line-out. Didn't quite manage to get the 50-22. What a remarkable 50-22 it would have been had he managed to nail it. But they've definitely, I mean, they've gained about almost 50-odd meters. So pinned Wales right back. And this is also the problem with the Wales. Every time they get momentum, like one small mistake, and like that, ball over the top. Jack Morgan, I was about to say, surely it was a knock on, and he can't pick it up off the ground cleanly. And that's what you can't have. And that's what Wales would have been, I mean, as far as we've been hoping for. Kick deep, put pressure on the line out, try and create an infringement, a knock on, or something like that. They've got just that. Now they've got an attacking scrum just outside the 22. And this is the problem. When you start compounding mistakes with more mistakes, you're really going to struggle to get into a game. And that's what we're seeing now from Wales. A messy line, a knock on, and all of a sudden you've got a French scrum. To the right-hand side, you've got a lot of the width on the left-hand side, but a reasonable amount on the right side to work with. You wouldn't actually, you probably want, I mean, if you wanted to scrum anywhere in the field, this is more or less where you'd really want it. Probably about 5 or 6 meters further in. But on the 22, you've got Remain Intermax standing right behind with Atasogby. You'll have Ramos to the left-hand side as options there. Antoine Dupont can go either way. It looks like he's going to shape to go to the left-hand side. Does go to the left-hand side. Wrap around from Dupont, kicking behind. Goes into the legs, though, so he's having to go back and clean up there. Was that forward? No, apparently not. Boudinot comes away with it. Now, Aldred. I'm going to actually close the poll, by the way, for who's going to win. 110 votes. I've got an interesting poll I want to try and run after this. Intermac goes very flat to Murvaka, actually, I think, in the fringes over there. Dupont waiting for the ball to arrive. It eventually does. Miafu. Wales have been very, very aware to the threat of Miafu as well as Antonio as ball carriers. They've been on them very quick. And then Baptiste Gross bounces off one. Intermac goes to Verassi. Verassi out to Thomas Ramos. Got Biabari out wide. Biabari scored a try a few minutes ago. Cutting back inside. Look for a bit of work. Good tackle there came from Ben Thomas. And Evan Lloyd trying to get over that ball. Missing it though. Big counter rack there. And Gregory Aldred goes short. Miafu ends up ball, and Rumat loses a fortune of a ball here for Jack Morgan, the Welsh captain. Still going against Jack Morgan. Been very good so far, has the captain. And back to Ben Thomas, who sends it down deep. Ramos is back. And I'm not sure he actually clicked that inside. I would actually have to have a look if he just kicks it into touch, which he has done. It'll be a Welsh line. I'll tell you what, I'd love to see that the Ramos footwork and see if he actually might have been stayed outside. So it's a good kicking game there, and this is the thing, we talk about the Welsh kick, the French kicking game, which is very good, and very much winning the territorial battle at the moment. So I'm going to put in a poll. There's two things I want to do. First of all, I'm going to start a poll. And I want to ask you about, you see, I think they're saying stop here. I want to have a check at that Thomas Ramos cat. That's what I reckon they're having a look at. Oh, no, we're looking at oh, goodness, never mind. Looking at foul play here. I think that could be Evan Lloyd in the bin. So what are we saying about names in the back of the jerseys? Yes or no? Let me know in the poll. So having a look over here at attack from Evan Lloyd, whether there's shoulder-to-head contact. Right, it's going to be a yellow card and an off-field review here for Evan Lloyd. So bad to worse here for Wales. Not ideal at all. Speaking of no idea, I'm just going to quickly fix our scoreboard a little bit. Alright, so we're going to put that card up there. Right, so Wales down to 14 for the next 10 minutes, pending the off-field review. And if that'll be upgraded, it'll be a 20-minute red card. 20-minute red cards are in effect. So penalty now for France, and they smelling a bit of blood 10 minutes before half-time as Intermac puts it into the corner. They're looking for the rolling maul. Wales will be a forward down, so really good opportunity to try and get that. So, what do you think about the names on the back of the jerseys? I really like it. I don't think the Welsh do it particularly well because they've got a sponsor. But the Welsh jerseys are very easy to read. I'm a big fan. I'm a really big fan. It's a good rolling maul that has been brought down legally. Yes, there's the referee penalty advantage here, and this is where Dupont can just do Dupont things. Mufana, Intermac stepping back inside, spinning in the tackle. Mirefu there, Dupont, flat to Baptiste Gross. Good work on the defence. They're coming from I think it's Nick Tompkins. Not too many options. There's Thomas Ramos looking for a bit of space. Going backwards here are Wales. They've still got the advantage. And no advantage, so they're going to go back for the penalty for collapsing the maul. But yeah, I'm a fan. I quite like the jerseys at the back of the shirts. Right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of a... Right, so we've got a bit of a super chat goal here, and we said that if we get a super chat this evening, I will do the watch-alongs tomorrow in my Italy shirt, which could go badly given the fact that they're playing against Scotland. But it's a knock-on. They're coming from the line there from France. So Wales with ball, and Thomas Williams needs to find a good clearance. And they survive so far to Wales into the hands of Biabari. Now looking to put the hammer down, looking for space. Runs into Nick Tompkins. Ooh, bit of space opening up for Dupont. You can't do that. You can't do that. Slip around the side from Dupont. He's going to go all the way. Of course. Oh, no, he's giving away the offload. And Atasogbe is going to go over. Dupont with the break. Dupont with the pace. He probably could have got himself, but unselfishly passed to the right-hand side. And Theo Atasogbe is in for his second. France in for their third. It's that rush defense. And Daft Jenkins just caught a little bit napping. I think one French player does very, very well. Deceptively kind of just blocks him for a couple of seconds there. And it's Gregory Aldred. And that just allows half a gap. And then he steps around Liam Williams to Antoine Dupont. Again, I think he probably could have gone on his own. But he gets the offload away. And selfishly gives it away to Atasogbe, who's over for a second. And I was saying to you in the fantasy, those French wings will score you points. And so far, that is very much what's happening. So I said, by the way, I want to try and take my Super Bowl predictions to see what I actually, what I went with in the end. I think I said France by about 20 yards, so pretty much looking good there as Thomas Ramos adds the extras to make it 21 points to 0. What did Steve say? I said France by 20. So right now, are we pretty bang on? Maybe should have gone a little bit bigger. Apparently, I think France by 20 is quite a popular pick, apparently. But more to the point, I want to see my fantasy team. I actually meant to go back and change it a bit today. So DVP Pretenders could be... who do I have here? Where's my team? I thought about putting Atasogbe in. I just don't remember if I did. Oh, Steve, you absolute biscuit. Did I not put in Biabari and Atasogbe? I am the GOAT. Aldred receiving the kickoff there. What a play that was to put Adesogbi into that team. Right, 21 points to nil. Just over 5 minutes to go. Can France try and get a bonus point maybe in this first half as Dupont kicks from the base of the rack and sends it long. He's got such a big boot, doesn't he? Liam Williams. He wants to go on his own run here. Very, very good attacking from distance here, Liam Williams. Scored one of the all-time great British and Irish Lions tries, as well as that try-saving tackle. He's got some brilliant British and Irish Lions moments, Liam Williams. Then a bit of Henry Thomas being brought down by Itoje. A bit of tight and tight head action. Now Adams, he's just kind of just sold Edwards down the river there. Wasn't particularly. There's just not a lot of creativity coming into the Welsh attack now. Nick Tompkins caught in the ball, gives it away to Liam Williams. Got no other option but to go to the boot, and Thomas Ramos is back to receive it. Ramos looking for options, looking for space. And wrapped up by Nick Tompkins, trying to hold him up. Gets his knee to the ground though, so France are back to secure the ball on their own team line. Dupont goes to the right hand side. Aldred, who's lost the scrum cap, goes himself. Ball over the top from Dupont, just a little chip, and it bounces back inside, and it falls into the hands of eventually Thomas Ramos. Knocked back as the call from Jack Morgan. So no issue there from him taking it now. Dupont, once again looking for options, goes to the left hand side. And he's dodging behind that left boot, and the ball needs a bit of good chase coming here. Oh my word, he's left behind. Tommy Rogers needs to scramble. Tommy Rogers does get it over. I think that'll be considered carried back, given the fact that I'm pretty sure Dan Edwards touched it as he went to ground. So I think we're going to look at a 5-meter scrum here for France. Yeah, it is taken back, and here comes the 5-meter scrum. So a big opportunity now for France to score that bonus point try. Good idea to go that left boot. It just holds up. Barry is racing on Tom Rogers. And Dan Edwards, he's got to hold on to that at the end of the day. Him losing that behind. In fact, he's very lucky that he had Tom Rogers there to clean up, because Barry was circling. Yeah, Steve putting in both the French wings was an absolute masterclass in fantasy. If you guys need tips, you just let me know. Chessport saying Wales do well to keep us below 80. Yeah, no, look, unless things start changing, I'll be surprised if they manage to get much less than 50. To be perfectly honest, put it in. What is Wales doing? Yeah, they've kind of imploded, haven't they? Elliot D is on for Tommy Raffelks. They need to get a front row on with that yellow card, which will remain a yellow card, by the way, for Evan Lloyd. So he'll be back at 3 minutes. Should be back just after half time. I have another reset here. Scrum's a bit messy, to be honest. Far too many resets for my liking. Not that I like any resets, so I'm pretty greedy. Well, I wouldn't say greedy, but pretty antsy with my scrums. Like get it done. Come on, I don't have time for this. Fabien Galthié already at the halfway line, ready to go down the tunnel. He's all smiles, looking very, very relaxed. Big scrum coming here. Gregory Aldred looking to try and pick up the ball. Does go himself. Goes to Dupont. Dupont to Intermac with the cross kick. So much space. Oh, we're going to see a hat trick from Adesogbi. Oh, no. The ball's going to bounce away from him. All it needed to do was hold up inside the try line area, and he would have been over for a hat trick. But the bounce of the rugby ball, if that was a football, he would have scored. But what makes rugby so unique is the shape of the ball, and we've just seen that there. But it is a penalty anyway for France for collapsing the scrum against Wales. So we're into the corner. Remaining Intermac will go. So Wales not out the woods just yet. They would have loved to try their own in the first half. But at the moment, I think confidence will have been high after 20 minutes. And I think whatever confidence they gain, they've probably going to be nowhere. Rudy Base says Welsh are better after half-time. Ciders, I'll tell you what. Put a couple of lagers will sort you out for the second half. No issue whatsoever. A couple of lagers, get them in. I mean, you can't get worse. It can't. I don't see how it gets worse. We'll give them a couple of lagers and send them back out and see what happens. I reckon Jack Morgan on a couple of like Red Bull vodkas would operate in the second half. I mean, he's already a bit of an energizer bunny. That's a really good wall defense. And Dupont has to break, but it's good work from Daft Jacobs to make a half tackle. That's a nice tackle coming from Dan Edwards. And all over the ball there. Ooh, I think that's harsh. I think hands on the ground is the call from Paul Williams. A penalty advantage there for France. 30 seconds left in the half. Mervak goes himself. They got a free roll of the dice here because they've got a penalty advantage. And Dupont, well, watch out for the cross kicks because we've seen them. So much space on the right side. I'm already seeing a bit of a gap. Liam Williams is out wide, but there is definitely space. Gregory Aldred goes and straightens right by the poles here. France, a few meters out, and they've gone. It's definitely obstruction and not behind. So we'll go back for the penalty, which will be the last play of the half, assuming there isn't another penalty. Jack Morgan having some words there from the referee. Six penalties conceded from Wales. That's also not a stat you want to look at. And that's just a result of pressure, really. You know, just can't really get into the game. Just conceding penalty after penalty. That Evan Lloyd yellow card, a big moment in the game. And with 8 seconds left, France really pushing. I think they might actually shape for a tap and go. No, Romanian Interback does have the ball in the hand. They'll go back to the line out. Varka with the back and looking around him more though, going very sideways at the moment, as the referee. Now a bit of a reshove on Varka's over with grounding. Paul Williams wanted to get awarded. No, ball back to Dupont. Ball over the top to Biabari. Steps inside. Too easy. Too easy on the half-time whistle. That is the bonus point. Well, 2 tries apiece for the French wingers and starting to run riot at Stade de France, unfortunately for Wales. And this could be a very, very long game for them. Solid rolling more, and then ball over the top, and Biabari just has to wait for the defender to commit, step back inside, and then as Rogers goes sliding past, he says thank you very much, just pops it over. Far too simple, in all honesty, from France in that first half. The first 20 minutes, I mean, they took 70 minutes to score the first points, and in that 23-minute stretch, they then scored 26 points. They scored more than a point a minute since they started scoring points, and that's the problem with France. You know, you can keep them out, but as soon as the floodgates open, if you don't fix your mistakes and start to really sort of adapt, then you could be looking at a bit of a hiding, which is very much on the cards here as Thomas Ramos makes it 4 from 4, and half-time score will be 28 points to 0. Warren Gatland's got a lot to say to his troops at half-time. We'll see if they respond. Meanwhile, Fabien and Galthié will be very chuffed. 2 wings apiece for Theo Atsogby and Louis Biabari. Antoine Dupont with 2 try assists as well, pulling the strings for France, as he always does. We'll see you guys after the break. Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. And we'll see you guys all very soon. Right, back for the second half, and unless things really start to change for Wales, I think it's going to be a long, long half for them. 28 points to nil, France with the bonus point, and not looking like stopping in all honesty. It's been a bit of Dupont manager. He has been absolutely superb so far, really pulling the strings for this French side, who took a while to get going. First try coming in the 17th minute, but since that try, it's kind of an open season. Unfortunately for Wales, that try is completely knocking the wind out of their sails, and they've kind of just been absolutely nowhere. And unless they find a try themselves, I just don't see really how they kind of get into anything out of this game. Hopefully they can, turn things around and start playing a bit better, because they were playing some nice rugby at this stage, some really nice rugby, but it was, yeah, it was unfortunately a kind of a bit of a matter of time, and then once the floodgates stood open, then things just got a little bit out of hand. But let's see how they can cope. So a couple of changes as well, which haven't helped as well. Injury wise, Wales have had 2 early replacements. They've lost Aaron Wainwright as well as Owen Watkin. Elliot D should be coming on very shortly. In fact, I think he is on. So we can actually remove that yellow card in that first half. To ball there from France, and has been kicked in behind from main Intermac. Now he's got a bit of space. What does he want to do? A couple of people outside of him as well. Go short to Ramos. I was trying to get in between a couple of players. Evan Lloyd there to make the tackle alongside. I think it's Josh Adams. Dupont has got 2 try assists so far this game. In fact, 3 try assists. He got the cross kick, ball at the top, and that pass to Biabari. So 3 out of 4. That's actually mental. 3 try assists for him so far. Probably could have had a try. This man over here. Well, in fact, both France wingers on hat-tricks. So lots to play for in the second half, and he's so good as Antoine Dupont. I mean, I know some people, especially South Africans, are very begrudgingly to admit how good he is, but he is. He's phenomenal. He is a phenom. Jen Evans says the ref is... Oh, there he goes. Almost gets through to there. Says the ref is off his head, and Dan Evans says... Dan Evans on. He's from Cameron, and so from the same... Oh, there we go. Local boy then. Gross now, just short of the 22 for France, looking to try and pick up where they left off in the first half, and shaping for a kick, and eventually, that's not one of his better moments to punt, but the ball goes back to him, and he immediately try and make amends. Lots of momentum here, as Biabari wants to put the hammer down, getting across to make a good tackle was Henry Thomas, and helped out by Ben Thomas. Lots of Thomases in this Welsh side. 3 of them starting tonight, with a further one off the bench, and that's lost forward there from France, so it'll be a Welsh scrum. Just the attack shape really kind of just breaking down. And the ball drifting forward after 11 phases. I don't even know why the British bother showing up. Yeah, it could be a long weekend for them, to be fair. Scotland holding all the hopes of the British teams this weekend. They should get a good result against Italy tomorrow. Out on the right hand side, and Dan Edwards looking to kick him behind. And that's a very well positioned kick. And Thomas Ramos eventually getting back right up against the touchline, and returns the favorite down. Liam Williams. Liam Williams with options. He gives it away to Dan Edwards. In fact, he goes himself. Now, Liam Williams. Sorry, Thomas Williams, rather. Yeah, Ben Thomas. Liam Williams. That's a nice pass. There's a bit of space here for Josh Adams. Josh Adams gets the ball back inside. Jack Moore gets a great offload. Thomas Williams. And the offload once again. Brilliant continuity that from Wales. Their best moment of the game so far. And short, there's Ben Thomas tackled into one of his teammates who stayed down, but saw over there. But Tommy Rafal now on the front foot here. Big opportunity this for Wales. Can they make this count? Will Rowland's getting through half a gap. What a confidence boost it'll give them if they can try to go over. Jack Morgan, he's been superb tonight. Pretty faultless in all honesty, apart from that one knock on. Henry Thomas making a couple of yards. The hands onto the hands of Biabari, but I think there was a penalty advantage for offside. There is indeed. Well, he was off to go score his hat trick was Biabari. Referee bringing them back. And Josh Adams, the man who I think got tackled into his nose. He's got a blood nose here. This could be a bit of a blood replacement actually for Wales, but a big opportunity for them. Can't take the points here. You can't. You can't go and sit down and take 3 points when you're down with 28 points. I mean, that's just ludicrous. Right, so decision time here for Wales. I imagine they'll go for the corner as opposed to taking a scrum. Right, new front row here. I think for Wales, it looks like. Yeah, it is. So here comes Nicky Smith, Kieran Azarati, and Elliot D for this line. I assume a line out. Maybe they'll take the scrum in the new front row. I mean, it's a spare thought for Jack Morgan. I mean, I'm glad he's playing well, though, because I really was hoping to see him. I mean, I think that you go back and look what he's playing like during the World Cup. People talking about British and Irish line captain. And then he got that injury and didn't look quite the same when he came back. But he's been very, very solid so far this weekend. There's Slimani in the crowd. I actually want to go look at the stats from Jack Morgan. Good line from Daft Jenkins. Right, can the Wales find a try early in the second half, get their open their account for the Six Nations, get themselves a bit of confidence. Not much go forward ball here. Ball back to Williams. Goes short to Tom Rogers. He's worked really hard tonight as Tom Rogers. Williams, I think this needs to be a bit quicker here. And there's been no intensity whatsoever really coming from him. Now Will Rowlands. 3 players on him. Liam Williams right up against the touchline. Makes a yard or two. Slightly isolated. Ball available for Williams. And he goes to Elliot D. Good momentum this. Ben Thomas now. The wrong kind of ball carrier, really. Jack Morgan was floating around. Probably want to have him more with ball in hand than anybody else. Elliot D full of running. And with James Botham, I'd love to see him with a bit more ball in hand. Been pretty absent so far tonight. Here is Jack Morgan. Tommy Raffel now. Presents well. Good defense so far here for France. Elliot D, his third carry in a short space of time. But losing a bit of momentum now are Wales. Ben Thomas goes himself. Backs himself as a ball carrier as Ben Thomas. Here comes Jack Morgan. Rolling to get a couple extra yards. Williams now goes to Daft Jenkins. Leaves the ball behind, but backwards. Oh, that's harsh. I think that's very, very harsh. And it's not forward. Well, there we go. You know, after all that, after all those phases, Daft Jenkins can't believe it. Some big tackles in that phase of play. Those really good defense coming from France. And a couple of times it was just the wrong ball carriers, really. I think it's backwards. I think to say that's gone forward is pretty harsh. To be fair to Daft Jenkins, Mirvok with a massive celebration. You can see how much that meant to him. I think it's a bit harsh. Maybe I'm being too generous. But let's have a look at Jack Morgan's game so far. 18 tackles, by the way. We're not even 10 minutes in the second half. He's made 18 tackles. Missing just one. I mean, that is a... I think he makes that British and Irish line squad. I think you have to take him. He's been so good tonight. You know, losing cause what will be the most likely, but he's been really, really good. And another reset here. The scrums have been pretty sloppy, though. Referee needs to take control here. New front row here for Wales. Trying to have a go at this French one, which has been on for a half. What does Nicky Smith and Kieran Azarati have up their sleeves? Well, Jeepers, France are really going to offload their bench here. That looks like Le Garric's going to come on, and amongst us, a couple of front rows there. France looking, I think, to put at least 5 subs on here. from the looks of it. First things first, I'm going to go out of this situation. I love the spider cam at the angle there. And, it's gone against Wales. I think Azarati might feel a bit hard done by. That's the call there, I think, on the other side. Itoje reckons there was no issue whatsoever. There was always a mixed scrum against him. I'll tell you what, I think Jean-Baptiste Gross is quite lucky. I think he's gotten away with 2 potential penalties. I don't think he's ever really straight when he comes into that scrum. So they do keep themselves out of danger. And now I think we will see a bunch of French replacements coming on. Yeah, Nicky Smith, because there was much in it between him collapsing and Antonio collapsing. But right, here we go. Here comes a brand new front row. Basically a whole new pack for France. I mean, look at them sitting on the big lads. And I'll tell you what, George Henry Cologne, I'm not convinced about him in all honesty. Big boy. Very big boy. 142 kgs, but I don't really rate his scrummaging. Well, there goes Antoine Dupont. And imagine having the luxury of Antoine Dupont, who's got 3 try assists. You replace him in the 49th minute. And you bring on Nolan Garrick, who's an absolutely scintillating talent. Hugo Araujo on as well as Michael Gouliard, Julien Marchand, and Cyril Bay. I don't think Oscar Jegu's come on just yet or has Emilian Gate on. But actually, I like Michael Gouliard is on. So pretty much emptied the bench here. But I did get to watch Nolan Garrick, who was sensational 2 weeks ago. And here he is already on the ball. Popping it up to Ramos. That's a horrible pass. It's a great pickup there for Biabari, but it was forward. Money Cash Below says, hopefully Wales get at least a try. Buddy says, France is a bomb squad now. More or less. They have gone with a 6-2 split tonight. So, I suppose, yeah, it is a variation of the bomb squad and bringing them on at similar time as well. So maybe that'll gain a little bit of attention in terms of the way they deployed that. But Antoine Dupont, I mean, he'll probably get man of the match still, despite only playing 49 minutes. But he was absolutely sensational when he was on. You want to be a wing when Antoine Dupont's on your side. The amount of chance he carves up is mental. And straight up, it was a good scrum that from Wales. They had the go forward ball, definitely. So you can see Nicky Smith's very vocal, saying, I think he can have a go here at George Henry Cologne. I don't think he's a particularly good scrummager. I admit I haven't watched as much as I probably should have, but from what I have watched, I've not been particularly impressed with his scrummaging. Joshua Pennington said, the 20-minute red card, it doesn't make sense. We're inviting more damage to the game. What do you think? I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Well, and they've gone down there for the scrum there, but no penalty coming for Wales. Ben Thomas popping over the top there for Liam Williams. And the ball's gone loose there. And I don't think forward, though, the referee. So Biabari having to go clean up. A lot of pressure there on Muafana. We've seen very little of the inside centre tonight. Yeah, I hate the 20-minute red card. I think it's an absolute joke. I think you cannot say in one hand we're all about player safety and we're trying to make the game safer, and then the other hand sanction 20-minute red cards. I hate it. I really don't like it. I'm not a fan at all. I don't buy into the whole it ruins the spectacle crap. I think if we're trying to make the game safer, if we're trying to grow the game, if we're trying to get more people playing the game, I think you need to make the laws a lot simpler and clearer. I think we need to remove anything that's overly dangerous and that can be prevented. And I think red cards should remain. Penalty advantage against Wales. I'll tell you one thing about Paul Williams, though. He's not let anything slide for Wales. I do feel that there's been a couple of 50-50s that have definitely gone France's way. I think Wales have had a total of 2 penalties all game, and I think they must be up to about 12 conceded. That's also the problem, though, isn't it? You know, when you're under pressure and the other team's playing so well, you always get the rub of the green of the calls. I do not speak French. My mother speaks French. I do not speak French. Well, here we go. But it's basically for Intermac back inside. No, Garrett looking around. and look at the flipping the work rate they're coming from the big pick up and go you from Gregory Alger, but that was brilliant work there from the very large Michael Gouliard, standard French massive forward. I don't know where they're finding them all. I suppose the islands, a lot of them. But Gouliard was born in France. No, nothing against him, but there are a couple of island-born players in that French. Now Cyril Bay gets up to a full running, and that's a very good steal from Liam Williams, but there was a penalty advantage, so they'll go back for the penalty. And also allowed France to do is kick to the corner and have another go. And he's going to have a conversation with Jack Morgan. I think this is the final warning. The next one's going to be a yellow card. Yeah, Jack Morgan's asking the question, and I think ask it. I think it's fair enough. I think ask the question about a few things. I do think that they haven't really got the right with the green of too many calls. Have Wales. But 113 kg, 197 is Michael Gouliard, the big flanker from Lyon. And there was him rewarding to the centre of the park as Romain Intermac had a bit of a subtle and quiet game. He does go a little bit unnoticed as Romain Intermac because they do play a lot off 9 and they kick a lot off 9. And then obviously Thomas Ramark, for example, he takes the place kicks. So Romain Intermac can sometimes be a bit of a silent assassin. Kind of just goes about his business. You don't always notice what he's doing, but very rarely has a bad game. Josh was saying, looking forward to England versus Ireland. You and me both, my man. Tomorrow we've got to get through Italy versus Scotland. Hopefully it should be a nice game. And then very interesting game. Because I think Ireland win that tomorrow. And I think that's job 1 of 2 done to try and win the Six Nations. It's a huge, that's going to be a try. It has to be a try. And it's a try. France with too much power. They packed the entire team. In fact, they basically had Fabien Galthié in that more by the end of it. And Wales, no response whatsoever. Too easy. Too easy, unfortunately. And all for that Welsh. Once again, they started the first half a bit like the second. I mean, second half about the first. We'll get there in the end. Where they've been solid. Have Wales, but not been able to capitalise. And then France, as soon as they get a chance, well, then they capitalise. Yeah, Thomas Ramos making no mistake once again. 33 points. Actually, a lot. The flags stayed down. So that's his first mistake of the match for Thomas Ramos. Thankfully, he's not on my fantasy team. Also, why I don't put Romain Intermac into your fantasy team either, by the way. I've got Finn Russell for tomorrow, which is hopefully going to be a payoff. Oh, it's a big tackle coming on Gregory Aldred. Garrett now. Lifts it high in the air. Tester here for Liam Williams, who's so good under the high ball and takes it very cleanly. Good to see him back in the Welsh setup, actually, Liam Williams. Would love to see Gareth Anscombe in that flower position. Short there to Jack Morgan. Williams on the right-hand side. Will Rowland's making a couple of yards. Yeah, I haven't been particularly impressed with what I've seen from Thomas Williams this evening. I don't think that distribution is particularly good nor fast enough. I think they've had chances where they could try and exploit a bit of a fractured French defense, but I think it's taken too long. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Roger Williams can do when he comes on. Williams for Williams, obviously. He's not a Welsh side unless there's like 15 Williams across the Williams and Thomases and Joneses. I don't even think this is a Jones, actually. That's the biggest thing, I think. When we look at this, if you don't have a Jones on your side and you're Wales, how can you expect to? Oh, that's a nice little line being run there by Nicky Smith. How can you expect to win without a Jones? You can't. You cannot. Daft Jenkins almost getting through a couple of tackles. Ben Thomas, bit of a late hit on him. Spins back inside, does Tommy Rafrel, doing very well. All right, a little pop up there to Dan Edwards. Nicky Smith. Oh, a bit of a space there for Nicky Smith. Oh, I love to see a little loose head prop make a bit of a break. Ball bobbles. That's surely hands in, ref. I think that's been knocked forward from the French hand, actually. I'd like to go back and have a look at that. Has that gone too far? Is that gonna... I think it has gone too far. They'll go back for the kick in touch there from Thomas Ramos. England versus Ireland tomorrow. If you're in South Africa, in fact, they're going to go back for the knockout. If you're in South Africa, I think it's a 7:15, 18:45. Local time, it'll be 5:45. So he goes down here. I want to see this again. And this is a good angle. Yeah, it's not forward. It's completely not forward. Whose scrum is it going to be? I think Nagaris got the ball. That's the wrong call. It's... No, he doesn't. Okay, so was Wales at the ball? No one's got the ball. Mr. Ref, we're going to need a ball here, Chief. This should be a Wales scrum. Yeah, well, at the moment it's nobody's scrum because we don't have a ball. Right, so whose ball is this? I think it's a French ball, but it should be yeah, it is a Welsh ball. Okay, good. Yeah, good. As long as they get to the right decision in the end. Very clearly, that's what I thought. It was knocked on at the breakdown from a French player. It has been corrected, so an opportunity for Wales now. Come on, sure you got to score a try. Free kick here, quickly take it to Ben Thomas. Flat to Nick Tompkins. In fact, it was Liam Williams. Now Thomas back at first receiver, goes short to Josh Adams, who was back after that blood nose. Not the best park to Will Rowlands, but he's always a willing ball carrier, Will Rowlands. Plays rugby in France for Racing. Nice handling. Oh, his numbers here. They want to use it. Ben Thomas goes himself. Wasn't the worst option this time. Thomas Williams. Edwards goes to Liam Williams. Ball available. Show and go. Coming from Azarati. Elliot D. Going a bit backwards. Need to try and find a bit of momentum. Yeah, Thomas pops it up. It's a nice angle being run there from Josh. As he's slightly isolated though. Ball available there for Thomas Williams. Ball back inside to Will Rowlands. Aldridge trying to get onto the ball. Tompkins the first receiver. To Thomas. Nothing on. Thomas just dabs it over the top. Thomas Ramos just marks it. That's poor. And now he's going to put... Yeah, now you're going to get back here, Ben Thomas. I think Ben Thomas... Not doing it for me, if I'm being perfectly honest. Decision-making poor. Execution poor. Here comes Jegu. I think you got to have Gareth Evans get back on the side. I don't care if he's 33 years old. He makes it a better side. Yeah, I think moving forward, Gatland's got to get Anskin back on the side as soon as possible because at the moment, there's just nobody steering the ship. It's pretty rudderless, unfortunately. Right, Jack Morgan. Getting past a couple. Potential neck roll, while Surabai thought so. And the penalty comes against... no, it's against... Also, I think it's the TMO that's made the call. It was on Surabai. He was very quick to try and alert the refs. Can't roll players like that anymore. And that's pretty clear. And into Matt now kick us to the corner. So a converted try, yeah, we'll see 40 points come up here for France. We enter the final 20 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty clear on Julien Marchand. All right, another changer coming from Wales, and this is Blaine Murray on Tom Rogers. I don't think Tom Rogers had a bad game, all things considered, in fairness. I think he worked hard. I don't think there's much more he could have done. Right, looking for the rolling more here. Now Surabai. Wales are going to try to hold him up, but eventually get him down to ground. And knock on coming from Wales. So, from France rather. Good defence that actually in the end from Wales. I'm trying to look at see this in positives for Wales, and I think they've had moments. I think they've had moments where they've looked better, which is not hard because last year they were horrible. They were absolutely horrible. So I think there's definitely been moments where we've seen a Welsh side which can defend in moments, and they've looked a bit toothless on attack. I think with the right changes, I think this Welsh side can be competitive. I do think that Gareth Anscombe coming in at fly half would be a good idea. I think give them a bit of direction, a bit of experience. I think you got to get Mason Grady into the side as well. I think that he is really talented. Wales 3 points to France's 11 visits to 22. France scoring 33 points. Wales scoring 0 so far. So I do think that Gareth Anscombe would make this team a better side. I think that you got to get Faletau back into it. He is in the squad. So I think Faletau makes a big difference. So I think even those two, I think, would offer a lot to Wales. And yes, you don't want to necessarily always go backwards, but you've got to bring a bit of experience for these youngsters. There's just not enough quality. So Anscombe in, Faletau in. I wasn't particularly impressed with Thomas Williams in at the moment. So wouldn't mind to see a change in scrum off. Mason Grady would be a big change for me that I would make. Right, there goes Freddie Thomas on for James Botham. Right, so just over 15 minutes left in the second half here, and we'll have our first game of the Six Nations done. It's not been a bad game. It's been fairly entertaining. Second half's been a bit poor considering compared to what we saw in the first half. Wales, how they have defended better, have also had more time on the ball as Biabari just kicks it in behind. Good territory gain that from France, just putting all the pressure. And that's the thing. Wales just haven't been able to get themselves out of trouble. It's quite a nice little angle there of the lineout. Right, Williams goes to the boost, the back of the line. And giving chase here is... Oh, knocks it forward there, does Asogi. It's not good from him at all. So a poor moment as Wales will progress about 20, 30 metres up the pitch and have a scrum. Lots for Warren Gatland to ponder. Because it's not been an easy night for his troops. Anyway, let's see what they can conjure. There's a nice little wrap around here for Thomas Williams to Liam Williams. That's a high tackle, surely from the referee. From Thomas Ramos, no, says the ref. From our angle, it looked pretty high from Thomas Ramos, but nothing given. Anyway, we'll still, never mind, another penalty for sealing off again. And someone's had I actually don't blame him, to be fair. Someone's had a word I don't know if it was Jack Morgan. Someone's had a word, and I think fair enough. I'm going to look at that penalty count, and I would feel a little bit grieved. I want to look at that tackle once again from Thomas Ramos, and where it looked initially from my angle like it was a bit of a seatbelt tackle. Right, very eligible at the back of the line. I'm getting it all floated away to Surabai. Little chicken wing pass there. The Garrick goes into the right hand side. Back to the Garrick. Oh my, that's filthy. Filthy. If this is a try, it'll be absolutely tremendous handy. Be a boy, ball back inside. Julian Marchand getting involved in the action. Champagne rugby here from France. Surabai now taking contact. Aldred popping it up into Mac with the cross kick. Oh, there's nobody home. And it's just in the end, Julian will go over. So good from France. That was filthy. Absolutely filthy. From beginning to end, some of the touches there were absolutely superb. Filthy. I mean, the chicken wing coming from Surabai was really good. Champagne. And then the silver line, it'll ball over the top from main into Mac. It's not particularly difficult. It doesn't have to be overthink it. Just chips it over the top into space, and he's got so much time as Gilliard to literally wait for it to bounce, gather, steps inside the man, goes over. The Welsh defense absolutely nowhere. And now Garrett, by the way, I think is actually taking over the kicking duties there, and he's pushed it a bit wide there. Interesting not to have Thomas Ramar taking it. Giving the 22-year-old a bit more responsibility, maybe. Well, it's going to give Warren Gatland a lot to think about is this performance. Because it's just not, I don't see where you find the positives. Dear, 30 points to nil as well. I mean, at least like a consolation try would we have something to take back to Cardiff. Because at the moment they've just got nothing, absolutely nothing. Speaking of nothing, Muafan has been absolutely dreadful for me today on my fantasy. Not happy with that effort whatsoever. Sitting on 4 points. Adesobi's got me 22.5. I mean, come on. Boudinet's also had a very quiet and ordinary game. Miafu's been decent in fairness. Ben Thomas. And Nick Tompkins are up against the touchline. I mean, this is going to be a blowout. Can we at least get Biabari another try? A little hat-trick there. France now against France. So what can Wales conjure up here? Elliot D. Love to see Roger Williams get a bit more. A little tip over the top there from Thomas Williams. That's nicely worked out for Jane Thomas. Then puts the chip in behind. And it's going to be very easily fielded. So they'll go back for the penalty. I'm waiting to see. I mean, I haven't been particularly impressed with what I've seen from Thomas Williams. I'm very surprised that Warren Gatland hasn't tried to give Roger Williams a bit of a go here. He's the only one that hasn't come on, and I haven't been particularly impressed with Thomas Williams, to be perfectly honest. Maybe the experience of Roger Williams. Interesting to actually have him back in here. Hasn't been around their setup in a while. But now we're having a check. Is there potential foul play? I don't know if this is against Wales or against France. So a nervous wait for the coach as they wait to find out what the story is. There is a sage TMO review. Yeah, head contact does seem to be what they're looking at. Right, Ben Thomas. Oh, I tell you what, that has remained Intermac into the bin. That is awful from him. It's late, it's high, he's dropped the shoulder. That could be a red card, actually. Well, I'm going to do us the honors of quickly putting a yellow for France. I don't see how he gets away with anything less than that. I think that's really poor. What's the referee got to say? Yeah, yellow card off field review. Well, yes, see how that happens because I think that's awful. I mean, maybe not a high degree of force might save him, but he's gone in late. He's kept his arm down. Josh Benson said that's yellow, same as the other yellow. I think that's actually worse. I suppose the other one I think had more force, but I think was more inverted commas accidental. He had his arm. I mean, he might as well have had his hand in the pocket. So it was so poor. So down to 14 men off France for the final 10 minutes. Maybe they'll give Wales an opportunity. Young HB Hugo saying, imagine if Jacques Nielbert and Felix Jones coached Wales. Interesting concept, actually. Well, here comes Roger Williams, the 31-year-old. Yeah, there you go. It's a commentator saying, more than a decade since his last appearance in the Six Nations for Roger Williams. Just the 5 appearances, and made his debut back in 2013, 12 years ago. Not a player who lived up to the initial hype, unfortunately. Right, not Tompkins is almost through. Tompkins needs to get the ball down, but he's going to be held up, I think, here. Yeah, held up is the call. There were just so many French players all over him. And that'll be turned over. Dear. A little bit of afters here happening now. A couple of players down. Aldridge's down. It's all boiling off at the moment. Photographers are loving it. Ben Thomas seems to be quite involved. Josh Adams always involved in any sort of confrontation. I don't think there's anything too serious here. I think the referee will be happy to just restart with the scrum. Yeah, just completely smothered. Had no chance of ever getting himself down to ground. Right, deep restart. Goes into the hands of Dan Edwards. What can Wales conjure up from deep? Ben Thomas. Stationary, then goes himself. Yeah, he's not doing it for me tonight. Maybe I'm being overcritical, but I just haven't seen any from Jack Morgan. He's been heroic. I want to see if he's hit the 25 tackle mark yet, although I don't think he's been tackling as much as he was the first one. Liam Williams comes back inside. Wales still with the ball. Liam Williams, there are 93 caps for him. Should get to that 100. Deserves it as well. LeGarrick losing it forward, so it'll be a scrum for Wales. I mean, anybody who manages to make 100 caps despite having the players that he had around him, like Lee Halfpenny, for example, played a lot of his rugby on the wing, did Liam Williams, had to behind Lee Halfpenny. But part of some very, very good Welsh sides. Won the Six Nations, won the Grand Slam as Liam Williams. Very decorated player. There's a conversation now with the ref and the players, I think. Well, the captains. Yeah. Yeah, so Remain Intermac has been upgraded to a red card. I thought it would. I said so. I said it didn't look good. I said there was no attempt. There's no wrap. His arm's down here. There's a high degree of danger. It's late as well. I don't think there's any mitigation there. So Remain Intermac. Well, that suddenly means that he's out for next week, unless they appeal it and win it. But I don't think there's any mitigation there, really. I don't see. I mean, I'm certainly not going to get away with no ban. They'll appeal it. 100% they'll appeal it. But I think that's them out of the game next week, which is a big game considering the fact that they're going over to play against England. So that's a huge loss for France if he is banned, which I think he will be. Right, Jack Morgan, in the meantime, by the way, still says he made 18 tackles. Apparently hasn't made a tackle in the second half. I'll be surprised if that's true. But anyway, Roger Williams on the left-hand side. Not much space and has to come back inside. Does well in the end as Blair Murray to make a couple of yards. Surely they can find a try here. Daft Jenkins still working hard. Edwards goes short. Rookie hardest Tommy Rafael on the tackle. Will Rowlands. Good tackle on him. Not much momentum yet from Wales. Ben Thomas goes short. Slowly but surely finding a bit of momentum. Yeah, Ben Thomas goes short once again, but that ball's bobbled up and been touched and actually been kicked in behind. The Garrick was very quick to say he didn't try to touch it in terms of him being offside. I think there was at least a knock-on in there. I'm not sure what the referee decision is here. We're currently looking at Biabari. I'd imagine it's a knock-on, if not the line-out. Well, there goes Romain Intermac. He looks pretty distraught in fairness to him. But I don't think you can have too much argument about that challenge. No knock on this. So it was a France line out. Ball available, yeah, for the Garrick. Good cake there from Blair Murray. And he's lost the ball, though. And the referee has looked at it and decides lost the ball forward. The game's kind of just falling apart now, if we're going to be brutally honest. Not much happening. Not much happening. Young HP Hugo saying, I'm supporting England against Ireland. It's their time. Josh Payne says, how many games in a row has Wales lost? Now, I was trying to get the stats pack, but I mean, they didn't win a game last year. So, a lot. I think it's north of about 8 or 9. Yeah, a lot is the answer. I said I had the stat pack earlier, which had all those kind of stats, but I just can't seem to locate it. France on the front foot once again here, though. So, well, it's charged down, though. Oh, I'll tell you what, was he going to stay in? Oh, penalty. Of course, it's penalty. Actually, that's what I wanted to check, is the penalty stats. And it wouldn't surprise me, actually, if the referee would just go to the bin with some of the players, so how many penalties they've actually conceded. Yeah, there it is. What did I say? What did I say? Too many, says the referee. So he'll finish 14 on 14. And he's just the unlucky candidate for being the last person to concede a penalty. But penalties, Wales conceded 13, I think, from the looks of it, to France's 3. Difficult to win games when that's the kind of penalty count, isn't it? Algert now currently captaining France. Looks like he's been made the man of the match. 17 carries, 17 tackles, 89 meters made. Yeah, I mean, he's been good. It was very, very good. I think harsh when you've got 2 guys who scored 2 tries and a guy who got 3 try assists. It's an interesting decision there coming for Gregory Algert. Pick up and go here. France looking to try and break that 40 point barrier. Pick up and go. So Abai just short. Desperate defense here from Wales. Colom now. Just short. Garrett taking a while to get this ball out. Gregory Aldred, and he goes over. Well, that will seal a man of the match performance with a try from Gregory Aldred. I was getting a bit bored of watching Garrett try to struggle to get the ball out. Says, no, you know what? I can actually just take this out and score a try. He does just that. And France, down with the red card, finally get the try they've been waiting for a while. I mean, interesting match to try and sort of dissect in terms of, do teams watch this and are they really fearing France? Do they watch this and say, well, this is actually just showing you how poor Wales is? Probably a bit of both. I think France at some stages have been really, really good. I do think at some stages... But I also think that Wales have been exceedingly poor. And as Garrick snatches that kick and goes wide, he's actually now has 4 points. Could be sitting at 47 points to 0. Yeah, I think it's a combination. I think France has been good, but I do think Wales have been also very, very poor. So a difficult game to read into long term in terms of how we're expecting these teams to start faring. Right, 90 seconds, less than 90 seconds left on the clock. Wales is desperate for that final whistle as they go short off the kickoff. And it's been knocked backwards. So it actually worked there for Wales. How much they'd love a consolation try just to get something out of the match. Yeah, taking his time. A little chip over the top though. Bounce the ball. Falls back into the hands. I think it's knocked backwards from Wales. Ball should be available for Roger Williams. Williams, not too many options. Daft Jenkins, and this is, I think that moment kind of summed it up. Roger Williams looking up with no options, looks to the side. Daft Jenkins has no options, gives him the ball and says, well, just try and do something. So, lots to work on for Wales. Lots and lots to work on for Wales. And I think next week they've got Ireland. Italy, actually. So, yeah. I mean, Battle of the Wooden Spoon could be decided next week. I think next weekend's arguably one of the biggest weekends. I think next weekend probably could be the biggest weekend for the Six Nations. If England beat France, assuming Ireland beat England tomorrow, then all of a sudden that throws up. If England go and beat Ireland and then beat France, that should be them winning the Six Nations, for example. Scotland will go and beat Ireland next week. That could throw up the Six Nations completely. You got Italy versus Wales, the Wooden Spoon. Contenders that we expect to be playing against each other. So next weekend is going to be very interesting. Anyway, the clock has gone red. What hasn't really? It's flashing with new fancy branding, which is not a great rebrand, if we're being brutally honest. The old Six Nations logo was very nice. Ball at the top, though, and that's very nicely worked, actually, from Wales. They were past the halfway line. They're not keen to kick it out just yet. They're happy to give it a go. Tommy Rafael goes to the right hand side. Azarati, Ben Thomas, ball. A couple of space, but somebody needs to take a bit of contact. Ball over the top. And Jack Morgan. Jack Morgan at the spine. Ball back inside. Oh, it's knocked backwards. But then, almost died on by Liam Williams. And Garrick on it. Now, Garrick wants to run himself. I think he'll have a look and just realize he might as well just kick it out. All the French players say, mate, we're not doing this. We're not doing that. Oh, it was heartbreak for Wales in the end, but yeah, it was always going to be a big ask, wasn't it? So final score, a whopping 43 points to 0. The big thing over there will be no remain intimate potentially for next weekend. People, thank you very much for staying with me for a late evening. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. Please do smash like on the video. Please do